Hi, everyone, and welcome to bchep.org. Kerri and I are here today with a guest from the HPV community. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
Hi,
How's
My
it?
name,
Wendy.
hi. My name is Wendy. I lived in Vancouver, British Columbia all my life. As well, I've had hepatitis B all my life as I acquired it from birth from my mom. And I'm here to talk about my experience living with hepatitis B.
Wendy, can you tell us more about your own experience and your family's experience with HPV, hepatitis B?
Well, I found out I had hepatitis B while I was in university. And at the time, I really didn't know anything about it other than it was transmissible by blood. So after my fiance got checked out that he had the antibodies, I pretty much went on and lived my life as before. And then about 10 years after I found out I had hepatitis B, my mom was diagnosed with inoperable liver cancer. She had never been monitored, and her first abdominal ultrasound was the one that discovered the tumor. So it was far too late to get any treatment or to resolve it in any way. So she did try chemotherapy to prolong her life, but it didn't do um, as it did not help her and just made her last few months on earth quite miserable. So one of the wake up calls for me, though, was that I need to take this condition much more seriously. So after my mom's death, soon after her diagnosis, I started to be monitored more regularly. I was getting blood tests every few months and abdominal ultrasounds twice a year. So at the time, it just I continued on living my life because I didn't need to have treatment until just recently, about last year, my liver enzymes started to go up, and so I was started on antivirals. And even though there have been side effects with that, at least I was monitored to be able to find out that I was not going to necessarily progress to more fibrosis because I was checked out, unlike my mom. So it's very important with hepatitis B to be monitored and also to find out if you have it because it's a silent killer. So you might have it and not even know it. So to be tested, and then if you do test positive, to be monitored because it can progress without anyone even knowing how serious it is.
Is the testing easy to do, Wendy?
Yes, yes, it's just a simple blood test to find out if you have the antigen for hepatitis B. And then if you do, then you need another one 6 months to find out if it's acute or chronic. So it's very simple to find out. And it's very important to be tested because, like I said before, not many people realize that they actually are positive.
Mhm.
And if they don't know that, then they can't have themselves monitored, which is essential when you have hepatitis B to find out if the disease is progressing, which of course can be deadly. But it's really a blood-borne disease. You don't get it just by being in someone's presence. So it's transmitted through unprotected sex, needles, sharp objects that can cause bleeding, and in my case, at birth through my mom who had hepatitis B. So it is not as scary, I think, as people should think of it as in terms of getting it from someone who has it. But for the people who do have it, it's a rather systemic disease because even though you don't necessarily know the symptoms, it can affect you in a lot of different ways, such as fatigue. It can cause kidney damage, and there's also the fear of the stigma that people have with hepatitis B have and are afraid to even talk about it. Mainly, it is just a chronic liver disease, but and it's not something to be afraid of if you don't have it and you're around someone who does.
Wendy, what do you think people should know about hepatitis B?
Well, I don't think many people realize how common hepatitis B is worldwide. Presently, it's been quoted as 292 million people are chronically infected with hepatitis B. It's the primary cause of liver cancer, which is the second leading cause of cancer death in the world. So it is worldwide a very devastating disease. In North America, perhaps not so much, but with immigration and people coming into from other countries that have it, it could also increase. So I want people to be aware that it is a common disease that's killing a lot of people. And if we could get the awareness out there and the advocacy to have more funding to research this disease, I think that would be awesome because we really would, the whole world would benefit from a cure. And that's what I hope to see one day.